As of the third week of February, more than 25 people have died across India following COVID vaccination. Among these, 3 are from Karnataka, from the districts of Shimoga, Ballari and Belagavi. The government has denied any role of vaccines in the death of these individuals. But how does the government decide which of these deaths are linked to vaccination? I'm Suraksha, and in this week's Coping with Coronavirus, let us take a look at post-vaccination deaths. Jaitunbi Salim Sanadi, a 34-year-old ASHA worker from Belagavi, had received the Covishield vaccine on January 22nd and died on Feb 3rd. The cause of death is said to be cerebral venous thrombosis. She had no comorbidities. Whenever a death occurs after vaccination, it is the job of an Adverse Event Following Immunization Committee or AEFI committee formed at the district, state and national level to determine whether this death was caused by the vaccine. The AEFI committee must include specialists from different medical fields to investigate the cause of death.
Any event happens in the district level, so the report goes to the either RCH officer or district health officer, and he convenes this meeting periodically. So whenever cases happen, so then committee will discuss, and either RCH officer or the district health officer, they put forward all the medical records.
To make a decision, the committee needs to have all medical records of the deceased and a post-mortem report. In cases where the family declines a post-mortem, like in the cases of Shimoga and Belagavi, a verbal autopsy report is required from the district immunization officer. He is responsible for getting the required details from family members and treating doctors. A verbal autopsy report is a method of gathering information about symptoms and circumstances for a deceased individual to determine their cause of death. After Jaitunbi's death on Feb 3rd, the 13-member district AEFI committee met the very next day on Feb 4th.
After death, district immunization officer visited the hospital, KLA hospital. He met all the relatives also. He took the detailed history, and it was available then. It was available in the meeting.
You mentioned that the verbal autopsy report wasn't seen by the committee members on February 4th, on Thursday.
Yeah, it was there, and he was reading it. We don't see that. He was reading verbal autopsy reading. He read it that day. And he knew and he read all that report. And many people are there online because they have to hear, they have to hear online meeting also.
The verbal autopsy report that Dr. Giridhar Patil is referring to looks like this. It is extremely detailed with 13 sections running into 13 pages. The verbal autopsy report has to be submitted at the district AEFI committee. However, as Dr. Patil mentioned, it was read out over a Zoom call. In determining the cause of death, how much did the committee manage to gather without a copy of the verbal autopsy report? According to the report, the patient suffered from recurrent headaches. Following this meeting, the district AEFI committee came to a conclusion that the death was unrelated to the vaccination. At this point in time, the committee did not have a physical copy of the verbal autopsy report, nor her medical records from the last treating hospital. Later that day, the committee issued a provisional diagnosis that the death had nothing to do with vaccination.
As I have shared with you, there is a very structured and robust system of AEFI monitoring in this country. Please mark my words, I am saying these are deaths of vaccinated people, because the system is that when a person, there has to be a post-mortem which is done by a board of 3 doctors, which has been done. Then there is a state AEFI committee which looks in whether vaccination was the cause of the death, and there is a national AEFI which then looks at all these 19 cases. So therefore, those colleagues who say that local governments or state governments or central government have rushed to certify that there is no causality, that is an absolutely baseless narrative.
Since this press briefing by the Health Secretary on February 4th, more deaths of vaccinated people have been reported, but not all of them have undergone post-mortem. As we have seen in the Belagavi case, the district committee had made the diagnosis public without having access to all reports. The same documents were submitted to the state level committee, which met on Feb 8th. but the records were examined in the state committee 3 days after it was already declared as a coincidental event.
No, in the state level committee, there is one more death which happened in Shimoga, and he was a doctor, a 57-year-old doctor. So the two cases were discussed at the state level. So one from Belagavi and one from Shimoga. So these two deaths have happened in the last 25 days. Means these two healthcare workers who took the vaccine and then they subsequently expired. So all the events were traced. So even the Shimoga DHO and RCHO, they attended and they presented the case. And also from the Belagavi side, here the local officials presented the case to the state level committee. So they took all the evidence plus medical records. They also sought the details of the CT, MRI, other things. Even in the Shimoga also, there was no postmortem. So both the cases have been referred to the state committee. Now state committee will refer these findings to the national level committee. Even in other states also, some deaths have happened. So all these things will be discussed at the national committee, and they will formulate further action, any recommendations or guidelines they will decide.
Recently, a group of doctors and health professionals wrote to Central Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan expressing concern over the AEFI deaths. They raised several questions such as making the names of the AEFI committee members public. They also asked if there is a group of experts overseeing the vaccine rollout and if the rollout should be paused until investigations of AEFI deaths are complete. They also raised the issue of compensation and if healthcare and frontline workers will be eligible for it. Though the letter was written before the Belagavi death, the questions raised are still relevant. Meanwhile, AEFIs continue to be reported. 23-year-old Shweta Khande, a nurse in Kalburgi's Gulbarga Heart Foundation, had a seizure on Feb 5th, minutes after vaccination. Though she was an epilepsy patient for 4 years, the last time she had a seizure was 12 months back in February 2020. She was in the ICU for 11 days before being discharged. Shweta spoke to DH from the ICU and said that she had 5 epileptic episodes on the day she received her first Covishield injection. Covishield does not list epilepsy as a contraindication. Contraindications are medical conditions in which the manufacturer cautions against taking the vaccine. Vaccines to prevent coronavirus are being developed and manufactured in record time. Hence, AEFIs are to be expected. However, there needs to be a rigorous investigation into AEFIs to ensure proper protocols are being followed. That's all from us from this week. We will see you next week with a new Coping with Coronavirus story. Until then, stay safe.